Chosen one, take a deep breath. You didn't click this video by coincidence. You didn't stumble here by mistake. This very moment was written into your story long before you faced your hardest storm. God Himself orchestrated your steps right to this word, this confirmation, this divine revelation. Someone needed to remind you, you didn't just survive what was meant to destroy you, you passed it in a way that brought glory to heaven. This wasn't just a trial, it was a crucible, the kind of test that bends the soul, presses the mind, and tries to silence the spirit. Yet somehow, you kept breathing, kept believing. Others would have folded, grown bitter, but you let it refine you instead of redefine you. Have you ever asked yourself why your tests seem to come without mercy? Why the darkness stayed longer than expected? Why the silence felt deafening? It's because what God was building inside you required a depth of surrender that only a few are called to endure. While others watched your breakdown, heaven was documenting your breakthrough. While they misunderstood your silence, God was writing your legacy in invisible ink. You passed the test, not with applause, but with endurance. Not with instant answers, but with quiet trust. You passed it with clean hands, a guarded heart, and a soul still singing when no one else could hear. What if that betrayal wasn't meant to destroy you, but to reveal who you truly carry inside? The rejection didn't reduce you, it refined you. The delays didn't deny you, they prepared you for something weightier than you imagined. Pause for a moment. Why do you think God trusted you with such a heavy assignment? Because He saw what you didn't. He knew what was dormant in your DNA. That under pressure, the real gold would rise. That under pain, your worship would still pour. Now, chosen one, the season of silence is over. Heaven is acknowledging your passing grade, and the reward is already in motion. The shift has begun. Take a sacred step right now. Comment 7777 below if this message confirms everything your soul already knew. That sacred number is more than symbolic. It's heaven's declaration that you made it, and you made it God's way. Let the universe echo back your readiness for restoration, reward, and recognition. To all who have supported this mission through a super thanks. From the depths of my spirit. Thank you. You're not just giving, you're partnering with the divine movement to awaken the called, the broken, and the rising. Whether through giving or simply listening with a spirit open to truth, your presence here is prophetic. What if everything you've been through was never punishment, but prophecy unfolding? Lean in now, because what I'm about to share will shift how you see your past and ignite what comes next. The hardest test has been passed, and now the reward is chasing you down. Let's begin. God's chosen ones. God gave you the hardest test of all, and you passed it the right way. Chosen one. Do you truly grasp the depth of what you've walked through? This wasn't a minor detour or momentary difficulty. Heaven entrusted you with a test that shakes the soul at its roots. It wasn't built for the masses, but designed for someone whose spirit carries the weight of generations. Why were you chosen to face a storm so severe It silenced even your prayers. Could it be because heaven recognized a strength in you that this world overlooked for years? This wasn't about failure or watching you collapse. It was about revealing a rare resilience that only surfaces under divine fire. Like David, standing before a giant that mocked armies and insulted God. You didn't shrink. You stepped forward, even when no one believed you could. What allowed you to keep moving when everything screamed, "Give up"? Was it instinct or something more sacred, placed in you before you were born? There were moments when your knees buckled, yet your spirit stood tall. There were nights when your tears baptized your pillow, yet your hope refused to drown. You carried burdens no one saw, stayed silent when lies were louder than truth. That silence wasn't weakness. It was sacred restraint, the kind Jesus showed before Pilate, saying nothing. Because sometimes the greatest power is in what you refuse to fight. You didn't just pass the test, you passed it with a grace that baffled hell. Zechariah 13:9 says, "I will refine them like silver and test them like gold." Just as Daniel refused to bow to Babylon's pressure, choosing prayer over fear, integrity over compromise, you held your ground in the den of lions wearing modern faces. What if the pressure wasn't meant to destroy you, but to reveal you? Juliana, a private violinist in Madrid, was told by her mentor she lacked the intensity to lead a symphony. Crushed, but not defeated, she practiced daily in an abandoned chapel. No applause, no recognition, no guarantees. Years later, during a moment of national mourning, the president requested her specifically, remembering the sound of her violin echoing through that chapel when he grieved alone. Her obscurity became her testimony. Isn't that what your test did? Built you quietly until the world needed what your silence prepared. Cardinal Robert Sarah, a Guinean theologian known for defending spiritual depth in a noisy world, said, "Silence is more powerful than speech because it is the space where God speaks the loudest." You lived this while others chased platforms. You built altars while they shouted for validation. You whispered prayers that shifted unseen atmospheres. What if the proof of your strength isn't how loud you roared, but how silently you endured? You weren't just refined, you were realigned, like Ruth, who chose loyalty over convenience, leaving everything to follow a bitter widow into uncertainty. You chose faith when logic screamed otherwise, just like Ruth. Your faithfulness is birthing a legacy you haven't begun to understand. Do you feel that tug in your chest now? That sudden peace after the war inside? That's not coincidence. It's confirmation. In the wild, eagles fly directly into storms while other birds hide, using the wind of resistance to ascend higher. That's you while others hid from hardship. You used it to rise, embracing turbulence not as punishment, but as propulsion, carrying you to a vantage point where clarity replaces confusion. Then there's Adrian, a single father in Toronto who lost his wife during childbirth. For years, he worked nights as a cleaner while raising his daughter with prayer and grit. When asked how he never gave up, he said, "I didn't fight the darkness, I became the reason she would never feel it. Isn't that what you've done? Refused to become bitter, choosing instead to be an anchor for others who lost their way. You didn't merely survive, you passed the hardest test, not with shortcuts or compromise, but with a spirit so surrendered that even angels stood in awe. You didn't need to announce your breakthrough. You became the breakthrough. Now, the world feels the vibration of your victory. Heaven watches in stillness and pride. God looks upon you, not just with affection, but with holy satisfaction. The kind reserved for those who didn't fold when life collapsed, who didn't curse their calling when it got heavy, who didn't abandon their post when the winds roared louder than the promise. You didn't just endure, you overcame. Now, God declares from the throne room, "This is my chosen one. This one has been tested and not found lacking." Do you feel that sacred shift in the atmosphere? The weight of divine recognition pressing upon your spirit. What does it feel like to be seen by the Creator? Not as a servant, but as a partner in glory. Could it be that what you thought was punishment was preparation for enthronement? The greatest souls are not born in comfort. They are forged in pressure. Look at Job. He didn't just suffer loss. He was unraveled to the core, sitting on ashes while friends misunderstood him, while his wife told him to curse God and die. Yet he worshiped, questioned, but never betrayed. In the end, the God of recompense restored him twice over Job 42:10. Why? Because heaven rewards those who pass silently what others fail loudly. Nelson Mandela, enduring 27 years of unjust imprisonment, emerged not with bitterness, but with clarity to heal a fractured nation through unity. He said, "I have walked that long road to freedom. I have tried not to falter." Isn't that what you've done? Walked through your internal prison, refusing to come out with chains on your heart? You were never ordinary. You were marked. The test wasn't random. It was evidence of God's trust in your endurance. Why would the Creator entrust you with such intensity unless He saw a future so expansive it needed deep roots to support it? Your strength under fire became a sermon the angels couldn't stop watching, like Esther, a Jewish girl raised in exile, positioned in a pagan palace, hidden until it was time to save a nation. Your obedience and silence has prepared you for sudden elevation. She didn't ask for the crown or scheme for power, but when the crisis came, she rose, saying, "If I perish, I perish." Esther 4:16. Could your surrender be writing the same kind of history? Revelation 3:8 promises, "I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut." Those doors are not metaphorical, they are dimensional shifts. You're not just stepping into a new season. You're stepping into a new realm where your past no longer limits you. Delay no longer defines you, and obedience unlocks what striving never could. Everything in your life has been building toward this. Do you remember when you almost gave up but didn't? When betrayal wrapped around your heart like a noose, yet you forgave anyway? When your bank account said lack, but your spirit said abundance is coming? Every one of those moments sowed something in heaven's soil. And now, that soil is breaking open. Amira, an environmental engineer in Morocco, was fired after exposing corruption, humiliated, blacklisted, nearly homeless. Instead of giving in, she began planting trees in barren land, alone, unpaid, unnoticed. 10 years later, her reforestation work became the blueprint for a government-funded sustainability initiative feeding thousands. What if your quiet obedience is building something generations will benefit? From Cardinal Christoph Schönborn, an Austrian theologian, said, "When God opens a door, He doesn't do it for your comfort. He does it so your calling can finally breathe." Could the suffocating last season be because your calling was outgrowing the room you were in? Picture a volcano, dormant for years, appearing lifeless, inactive, irrelevant. Beneath the surface, pressure builds, heat rises, layers shift until one day, the eruption redefines the landscape. You've been that dormant volcano, misunderstood, misread, misjudged, but what was forming inside was sacred energy. Now it's time to erupt with purpose. You're not entering the future lightly. You're entering as someone who has tasted the pit and the promise. The pain that almost killed you has become the oil flowing from your hands. The storms weren't meant to destroy. They were training grounds. The tears you thought wasted watered roots of legacy so deep that even drought cannot undo them. So, what will you do with this favor no man can deny? Will you walk through the open door timidly, or with the authority of someone who knows heaven stands behind them? Are you ready to stop surviving and start reigning? Now that you stand before that open door. Chosen one, it's no longer about permission, it's about readiness. You've earned the right to walk through, not with hesitation, but with the quiet confidence of someone who has touched the depths of pain and still chosen light. What waits on the other side isn't comfort, it's calling. Passing the test doesn't end the journey. It begins a new dimension of purpose. Have you wondered why challenges didn't stop after your breakthrough? Why your soul still felt stretched? Elevation requires activation. You're not just being restored, you're being launched. God isn't simply healing you. He's reconstructing your foundation to hold the weight of what's next. This transformation isn't just spiritual, it will be visible, etched into your voice, energy, decisions, in how you walk into rooms and how those rooms shift without you saying a word. Could that be why people pause when you speak? Why strangers confess things in your presence they've never said aloud? You carry the frequency of divine authority. And authority isn't loud, it just is. Like Moses, returning from Mount Sinai with a glow so intense others couldn't look at him without a veil. Exodus 34:29-30. You carry evidence of encounter. That glow isn't cosmetic, it's covenant. You shine not because of what you've achieved, but because of what you've endured, without letting it poison your heart. You're not alone in this transformation. Harriet Tubman, the Moses of her people, escaped bondage and risked her life repeatedly to deliver others through the Underground Railroad. She said, "I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves." Her glow wasn't glamour, it was fire, born of pain, purpose, and prophetic mission. That's the fire igniting in you now. Why do people feel different around you, even if you never speak? Why do atmospheres shift, tension dissolve, hearts open? It's not personality, it's presence. Julian, a barista in Stockholm, quiet and overlooked, one day told a suicidal customer, "You matter more than your sadness." That man had prayed minutes earlier, "God, if you're real, send someone to stop me." That sentence from an untrained voice saved a life. Why? Because spiritual authority is felt before it's understood. You're walking in that realm. Your test burned away the false self and revealed the divine imprint beneath. The enemy panicked because every attack intensified just before your turning point. Relationships unraveled. Finances dried up. Your mind waged war. Because hell recognized what you were about to carry and tried to abort the assignment. Jesus told his disciples in Luke 10:19, "I have given you authority to overcome all the power of the enemy." That's not poetic, it's spiritual law. Now that authority rests on you, not because of performance, but because of permission granted through pain, sealed by perseverance. You didn't just walk through fire, you redefined how fire behaves. Emerging radiant, not scorched. Enemies will tremble without knowing why. Opportunities will open without force. Could your silence during suffering be louder than any scream? Could your patience have become prophecy in motion? Benedict Cumberbatch. Once facing obscurity and rejection, said, "It wasn't success that prepared me. It was the ache of not being seen." That ache is familiar, isn't it? But now you're being seen, not just by people, but by destiny itself. Like autumn leaves, changing color. Your shift is organic, divine, unmistakable. You don't need to explain the glow, just as trees don't explain their brilliance. The power was always in you. So, chosen one, what are you declaring today? Will you stand still in awe of what you've survived? Or speak life over what's about to be born through you? Your testimony is not just personal, it's generational. Every tear was currency, every delay strategy. Now that heaven has cleared your name, say out loud, "I passed the test." What you're declaring isn't just readiness, it's awakening. To grasp the depth of what happened, we must go deeper. The test wasn't just enduring pain, it was a sacred initiation into mastery over your emotions, instincts, thoughts. Every time you chose to bless instead of curse, stand instead of retreat, love instead of close off, you laid bricks in an eternal foundation. Can you feel the difference in your atmosphere? Like the air bends differently, like heaven listens closer. This separates the chosen from the crowd. The world expects anger when wronged, revenge when betrayed, collapse when overwhelmed. But you rewrote the script. Why do you radiate peace while others are swallowed by rage? Why does your forgiveness sting more than another's fury? Because you mastered the storm instead of letting it master you. Each time you said, "I forgive," when no one apologized, you disarmed the enemy. Every step in faith, when logic screamed, retreat was a blow to hell's plan. That strength came from surrender, choosing stillness over noise, like Jesus in the wilderness, saying, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Matthew chapter 4:10. That moment was about clarity, not dominance. The clarity to say no to illusion. How many times did the enemy whisper, "You're alone, forgotten"? This isn't worth it. How many mornings did you battle an unexplainable heaviness, yet kept showing up with tired eyes, but an unshaken spirit? That's the real miracle. Not that you were unhurt, but that you were unshaken. Forrest Whitaker, known for his compassion, said rejection nearly silenced his voice. They tried to define me before I knew who I was. He refused to let voices drown out the one within, becoming an award-winning performer and global peace advocate. Can you relate? Fighting not just for your future, but for your identity, Sasha. A hospice nurse in Helsinki sat beside a dying man who hadn't spoken in weeks, holding his hand through the night. Just before dawn, he whispered, "You're not just a nurse. You're proof God didn't forget me." Sasha never advertised her faith. She loved well, and that love cut through despair like a lighthouse. Isn't that what you've been doing? Shining without shouting. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." You've lived it. The enemy crafted strategies, but they collapsed. He orchestrated betrayals, but they exposed him. He tried to ruin your reputation, but it sharpened your discernment. Could every attack be prophecy in reverse? Your victory is seismic, not just because you passed a test, but because you unmasked a deceiver. The father of lies watched you walk through shadowed valleys, expecting your faith to die. Instead, it multiplied. Now he trembles because you didn't just endure. You evolved, becoming a vessel he can no longer penetrate. You're walking proof that God's word doesn't return void. When the storm said, "This is the end," God whispered, "This is just the beginning." You are a miracle. Not because of what was spared, but because of what was transformed. What was meant to drown you became the water you now walk on. In nature, diamonds form under intense pressure and heat, buried deep, hidden for thousands of years. When revealed, they don't ask for recognition, they reflect a light. That's you now. Your scars have become facets of brilliance. Could that be why people stare longer? Not out of curiosity, but reverence. You've become more than a testimony. You're a tabernacle of survival. Your life speaks for the voiceless. Your scars are sacred scrolls. When people look at you, they see resurrection. The impossible made possible. Not because you never fell, but because you rose with wisdom. So, here's the final question echoing in the spirit now that you've seen who you are. Who can stop you? Chosen one, an unshakable, radiant force forged through fire. The world is about to see it too. They won't just see your survival. They'll see the shine of someone who weathered a Category 5 storm and came out with wisdom in their eyes and peace in their steps. What happens when someone realizes miracles still walk among us? What shifts when they meet someone whose presence says God is real and carried me through? Your story is no longer your own. It's a revival for those on the edge, a divine spark reigniting lives that burned out. Why do people stop mid-sentence around you, as if remembering something sacred? Why do strangers cry after talking to you without knowing why? Because your transformation is evidence, and evidence doesn't argue, it exists. Let's talk about what's coming. Not in theory, but in timing. You passed the test, and heaven took note. God is preparing to bless you in a way that cannot be mistaken for coincidence. This isn't just about money. though provision's doors are swinging wide. It's about fullness, peace in your chest, clarity in your mind, purpose pulsing through relationships, joy that isn't triggered but permanent. What if everything that resisted you now begins to chase you? What if the struggle wasn't against delay, but against alignment? Psalm 23:5 declares, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Imagine what it does to darkness when it must watch God bless the one it tried to destroy. Your enemies will have front row seats, not to your downfall, but to your divine coronation. And they won't stop a single thing. Like Joseph, betrayed, sold, falsely accused, left in chains. His journey wasn't punishment, but positioning. Every betrayal was redirection. Every false accusation a sharpening. When the time came, Pharaoh said, "Can we find anyone like this man, one in whom is the Spirit of God?" Genesis 41. Joseph went from prisoner to prime minister in a single conversation. Could your dungeon be the hallway to your throne? This transformation requires full embrace. Can you release the version of yourself who struggled to believe, who carried shame like armor? 2 Corinthians 5:17 promises, "If anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here." If the old is gone, why try to prove your worth to rooms God never sent you to? Shonda Rhimes said, "You can waste your life drawing lines, or you can live crossing them." She broke free from self-doubt, fear of rejection, and creative confinement, writing stories that healed people she'd never meet. What lines are you drawing out of fear when your story waits to be lived beyond them, Leo? A former gang member in Bogota now runs a bakery employing young men leaving violence in a cold prison. He dreamed of baking bread for angels. When released, he didn't return to revenge, but to purpose. Every loaf carries mercy. Could your breakthrough carry healing for more than just you and nature? Sunflowers turn toward the light before the sun rises, a phenomenon called heliotropism. That's your soul now, turning toward light even before it appears. Your trust isn't based on visibility, but on knowing something greater is coming. Is your spirit saying yes to blessings your eyes haven't seen? You've stepped into a realm where ease replaces resistance. Blessings aren't begged for, but attracted because you became magnetic with obedience. Your new identity carries authority. The old you strived, the new you receives. Everything heaven promised is aligning. Not randomly, but precisely. Chosen one. What are you waiting for? Are you peering through the keyhole when the door is wide open? Are you apologizing for surviving storms that made you who you are? Or are you ready to feast at the table your trials earned? This is your moment to act, not just with words, but with a living declaration. We've reached a turning point, and heaven awaits your agreement. Declare in faith you are ready. Type it, speak it, believe it. This is more than a gesture. It's a spiritual transaction. When you engage with boldness, you align body, mind, and spirit with the outpouring God prepared. What if this act of faith is the door unlocking everything once delayed? This isn't about faith in theory. It's transformation in motion because you passed the test. God is remaking you from the inside out, and the change will be undeniable. You'll feel it before you can explain it. Your body lighter, sleep deeper, presence stronger. Could the weight you carried have become your strength? Could the pain have rewritten your frequency? People will say you look different, brighter, fresher, younger, but they're sensing the resonance of God's Spirit radiating from your restored soul, like Moses, descending from Mount Sinai with glory so intense others couldn't look at him. Exodus 34:29-35. You carry evidence of encounter. That glow isn't decoration, it's revelation. What if your face now carries a message? Heaven needs delivered. This transformation isn't just about you, it's generational. The victory you've claimed is turning into victory others will step into. When they look at you, they won't see someone who survived. They'll see someone who changed the atmosphere. Do you realize your presence alone has become deliverance for others? Have you sensed how conversations shift when you walk in? Not because of words, but because of your weight, Dr. Asim Malhotra, a British cardiologist, said, "True healing begins when we address what's unseen. What healed in your soul is healing your surroundings. That's the quiet miracle, the unseen becoming visible." Clara, a midwife in southern Chile, suffered 5 miscarriages, thinking her pain disqualified her. Over time, her empathy deepened. Her touch calmed laboring mothers. Her words shortened their pain. A patient told her, "You're not delivering babies, you're delivering hope." Could your deepest wound have become the well others drink from? You are not just chosen, you are catalytic, the beginning of a ripple that will outlive your name. Like Deborah, a prophetess, judge, and warrior, your obedience will initiate shifts in realms you don't see. Judges 4-5. Her leadership brought national breakthrough, starting with her willingness to speak when others stayed silent. Are you willing to be that voice now? Be alert even after breakthrough. The enemy lingers, studying patterns. When he sees your new strength, he'll plot old attacks in new disguises, whispering doubts, rehearsing failures, presenting options that feel safe but are beneath your calling. Ephesians 6:11 commands, "Put on the full armor of God so you can stand against the devil's schemes." You've proven his old weapons don't work. But are you prepared for subtler ones? You're not who you were before the test. But the enemy will try to drag you back by pulling on your memory. Your clarity must become armor. When you remember who you are, hell remembers it lost. Isaiah 61 declares, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You've arisen, now shine." Will you shrink to blend in or rise to illuminate in the wild? Arctic terns migrate thousands of miles from the North Pole to the South, never turning back because it gets hard. Your spirit is wired for that forward-only movement. You are the answer to someone's cry. Your transformation isn't ornamental, it's foundational. You didn't just heal, you became a healer. Every step echoes in dimensions your ears cannot hear. Your past was a training ground, your present an activation zone, your future vibrating with glory. What does the enemy have left against you? Now, that you've become the light he tried to extinguish. Chosen one. Now that you're the light hell tried to extinguish, what's left to fear? You're equipped, not just with wisdom, but with armor, forged in trials and sealed in obedience. Ephesians 6:11 commands, "Put on the full armor of God to stand against the devil's schemes." You didn't collapse when it got dark. You became the light the darkness couldn't comprehend. Now, standing in this radiance,